So originally this room was used as a spare bedroom. Actually before that it was my housemate's bedroom. I had housemates for years. When I decided that I didn't want housemates anymore and I felt very grown up, it became a spare bedroom that was literally never used. And with my partner spending more time here and both of us working from home a lot, I realised that I needed a room that I could kind of lock myself in and not be distracted by him and the cat. So the kind of dressing room come office idea was born. I've been a huge fan of Abby and Katie's work for years, and I knew I'd been watching them grow their new company, Boura and White, and I was waiting for the perfect opportunity to get in touch with them. And I saw one of their designs, the Cavendish, on their Instagram, and I knew, as soon as I saw it, I knew it was perfect. I also knew that Abby and Katie would be kind enough to allow me to tweak their design a little bit. So I went down to their wonderful studio and spent a hilarious afternoon designing a version of the Cavendish, which in my eyes is the sort of perfect little sofa. So in terms of sort of slightly tweaking this design, despite me sort of spearheading the change in this room by saying, I want a room that I can use, that's for me to use, I do always have that slight sort of like, I think, older child guilt of, you know, what if someone else needs to use this room? What if I do have a guest that can't go home after having too many martinis? I said that to Abby and Katie and they thought, okay, well, let's figure it out. There's not quite enough space for a sofa bed. So we kind of played around with a few ideas and settled on this concept of a little ottoman that can be used as a footstool, but is perfectly measured and positioned to clip onto the end of the sofa and become a perfect single bed. Spacious, loquacious, so comfortable. And I love that kind of slightly playful, but also practical element of the design. In a house like the house I live in, you know, often when people come around and they see it in images, they think, you know, it's kind of outrageous and wild and flamboyant, and it is all of those things. But the bones of the house are really, really, really strong and traditional. I then layer on layers of flamboyance and fabulousness and accessories. So when it came to the sofa, I knew that in order for the sofa and the canopy treatment to work, the bones of it needed to be very strong, very simple, very sturdy, which is why I settled on this incredible linen here as a sort of backdrop for the slightly more flamboyant canopy and cushions. You know, working with Boura and White is always and has always been such a joy. We always have a lot of fun. Abby and Katie are such good hand holders and so good at making you trust them, and it's always such a fun collaborative process that you come away from a decision that can sometimes be quite stressful, knowing that you've made the right one and you can leave with confidence and you want to go back again and again and again.